Paperwork from YB's 2016 case documents from NBA Youngboy's 2016 attempted murder case showing evidence of NBA Youngboy's affiliate, NBA Joe, revealing NBA Youngboy as a shooter has surfaced. Now, if you from Baton Rouge or you an NBA Youngboy fan that spans over 10 years ago, there was always a rumor that NBA Joe snitched, but everybody kept on saying there was no paperwork. Well, it just so happens that that paperwork is here. There's only one way he could clear it, and that way to be cleared would be through one method. But I'll share that with y'all at the end because you know we got to keep y'all in. Let's go. Officers' actions. Upon arrival, officers and other emergency personnel located a 17-year-old black male victim in a silver Hyundai Elantra who had a gunshot wound. EMS and fire treated the victim, and EMS transported him to OLOL. Officers secured the scene and contacted detectives. Detectives arrived on the scene and took over the investigation. Upon the initial arrival of responding officers, Detective Brogan to the area, officers observed 2033 Kentucky to be vacant and entered it to make sure there were no victims inside with injuries. While making way through the abandoned residence, officers observed firearms. Detective Brogan obtained a search warrant for 2033 Kentucky Street, which was approved by the Honorable Judge Booney Jackson. Upon execution of the search warrant, detectives located a NPAP 7.62 rifle in closet, a Mossberg 20 gauge shotgun in closet, a EAA .38 special 357 Magnum revolver in book bag, a book sack with gray shorts, a long gun case, and assorted ammunition. Detective Brogan also obtained a search warrant for 2055 Kentucky based off of the belief that part of the shooting happened in front of 2055 Kentucky and on the property of 2055 Kentucky. The search warrant was approved by the Honorable Judge Booney Jackson. A search of residence revealed a CZ 750 9mm pistol. So then we started to get a leaked interview and a statement by NBA Joe, bruh. And I ain't gonna hold you. If you go back in the archives and you look at the photos, these all look like some young kids, but y'all doing grown big boy things. And that's the part where it seems to me like we got to sit back, hold back, go, oh snap, this might not be good. Roll it. Interview, Joseph Graham. Interview of Joseph Graham, attempted first degree murder, 2055 Kentucky, file 109128-16, November 2nd, 2016. Written by Detective Derek Evans. Synopsis. On October 2nd, 2016, at approximately 0931 hours, Uniform Patrol was dispatched to 2055 Kentucky relative to a shooting. Upon arrival, officers learned that approximately 4 suspects at a silver Hyundai drove past mentioned address and began firing at 2 victims who were standing in front of the residence. Approximately 0940 hours. Uniform was dispatched to the 2000 block of May relative to a black male, Joseph Graham, in a silver Hyundai. Graham was shot through the shoulder. After Graham was treated at the hospital, he gave detectives a statement at VCU at approximately 1800 hours. Investigative details. He advised that he got a call from Redacted saying that a friend got killed. He advised that he went to Nebraska Street to visit the family. He advised that they were traveling down Kentucky and got shot at. He advised that he, Tread, Ben, and Boomer were in the car. He advised that a large male started to shoot at the car. He advised that Boomer and Tread shot back. He advised that there was only one gun and it was Boomer that had it. He decided to change the story after the detective advised that he did not believe him. He advised that they exited the interstate and changed the story again. He advised that Redacted began staging the car and asking people who killed his cousin. He advised that Youngboy and Boomer started shooting when they saw 2 people walk up with guns. When asked if they would not have been driving around, the shooting would not have occurred. Graham positively identified Kentrell Gaulden as the person in the car he saw shooting from a person lineup. This is a brief summary of the interview. For the entire interview, see the DVD in evidence. Incident report excerpt. On November 2nd, 2026, at approximately 0931 hours, Uniform Patrol was dispatched to 2055 Kentucky relative to a shooting. Upon arrival, officers learned that approximately 4 suspects in a silver Hyundai drove past mentioned address and began firing at 2 victims who were standing in front of the residence. At approximately 0940 hours, Uniform was dispatched to the 2000 block of May relative to a black male shot, Joseph Graham, and a silver Hyundai. Graham was shot through the shoulder. Investigative details. Detectives responded to the scene. While at the scene, detective was contacted by Redacted and advised that he was the driver of the Hyundai. Detectives learned from witnesses that he, the Redacted, drove the Hyundai back to Redacted area where his cousin was killed on November 1st, 2016. Detectives learned that Redacted went back to the area, finding out who shot his cousin with Graham, Kentrell Gaulden, and a black male known as Boomer that were armed with a handgun. Boomer and one assault-style rifle, Kentrell Gaulden. Once in the area, the Redacted, Boomer, and Gaulden began confronting people about his cousin's murder. When the Redacted drove to 2055 Kentucky, he confronted the victims, and Boomer and Gaulden began shooting at the victims from the Hyundai. Redacted drove Boomer and Gaulden from the scene, hitting a curb and eventually fleeing from the car in the 2000 block of May Street. So far, it's been like double dutch. I'm ready to get in. And y'all got to be wondering to yourselves right now, damn, what's my thoughts so far? Let me know your thoughts real quick. All right, cool. Hit that like button. Got it. I know it's a little late on this one, but I had to do it the right way because, you know, it's NBA Youngboy. His fans be crazy. You know what I mean? So we're going to show you exactly why it matters. Synopsis. On November 2nd, 2016, homicide detectives were requested to 2055 Kentucky Street in reference to a shooting. The victim had been located at 2000 May Street. During the course of the investigation, detectives learned that a male was seen passing off a gun on Nebraska Street, and it may be related to the shooting on Kentucky. Detectives would interview Redacted relative to the incident. Investigative details. Redacted would be interviewed by myself, Detective L. Collins, and T. Keller on 11/2/2016 at 2015 hours. Relative to him passing a gun to someone on Nebraska Street, Redacted was read his rights per Miranda, and he indicated he understood Redacted would deny any involvement in the shooting on Kentucky Street. He advised that he was on Nebraska Street when he heard shots from Kentucky Street. Redacted would initially deny passing a gun off. He would finally indicate that he received a firearm from a cousin of Keandra Ricks, who told him to hide the gun because he was going to smash people later. He indicated that he passed the gun off to a white boy, Clint. Redacted would prove his voluntary sample of his DNA after signing a voluntary consent for DNA evidence. BRPD writes form voluntary consent for DNA. Buccal swab of Redacted. And y'all know what happens next, unfortunately. Bruh. Here's the worst part. Affidavit of probable cause. Brian Ballard with the Baton Rouge Police Department certified under oath. Based on the information outlined below, there is a probable cause to believe Kentrell Gaulden on or about 11/2/2016 did commit 2 counts of 1427, 1430.1 attempted first-degree murder felony. On November 2nd, 2016, Kentrell Gaulden, herein referred to as the accused, knowingly and willfully violated LRS 1427, 1430.1 attempted first-degree murder by having the intent to kill or inflict great bodily harm on multiple persons. The accused demonstrated his intent by firing a weapon multiple times at several victims while said victims were on the 2000 block of Kentucky Street. During the course of the investigation, detectives contacted several witnesses and learned that the accused was one of the 2 armed passengers of a vehicle that drove to the 2000 block of Kentucky Street. Eyewitnesses observed the accused shoot multiple times at persons at his location, which included the victims. Eyewitnesses. The accused then left as a passenger in the vehicle, which was located on East Lakeshore Drive. The eyewitnesses were interviewed and identified the accused as one of the 2 shooters from the photo lineup. The basis for belief of this accusation are detectives' observations at the scene, the statements of eyewitnesses, and those eyewitnesses' subsequent identification of the accused from a photographic lineup.
Hey, yo, you. Can you subscribe and turn on that bell, too? Because when you do, you're helping unbiased, independent news.
So I had to make sure I had it written down in my notes. So the shooting was apparently retaliation for the earlier shooting death of an 18-year-old named Keandra Ricks in the 2000 block of Nebraska Street less than 8 hours earlier. So they was spinning again. So on November 28, 2016, Youngboy gets arrested in Austin, Texas because his ass fled, goddamn Louisiana. He was set to basically perform. He initially was charged with 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder in Louisiana. Then the case was resolved May 2017. NBA Youngboy pleaded guilty to reduction charge, aggravated assault with a firearm instead of the earlier murder charges. He was released from custody, juvenile or young adult facility in May/June of 2017. After the plea deal, the case became one of the legal foundations that later labeled him as a felon in subsequent gun possession cases. And y'all know he kept on messing up after that. Then yeah, it is what it is, bro. But I say that to say this, right? If you look at the pictures, these little kids, bro, blind leading the blind, the dumb leading the dumb. But as I told y'all before, these kids is running around committing big boy stuff, committing big boy murder, committing big boy robbery, committing big boy assaults. So in my opinion, should he have gotten longer? Hell yeah. Did he learn his lesson? Hell no. Do I think now more than ever he learned his lesson? I think so. I think what happened with NBA Youngboy during this tour, and I seen it in his face a couple of times, and some of y'all will agree, and some of y'all say, yeah, I seen that before you, is he's realizing more and more the power that he has and the ability to stay free, get his money, impact those, and have fun. Youngin was all the way in France. He done went to Jamaica. He done went to a bunch of places he never got to experience. One thing about poverty-stricken areas is that your viewmanship of everything is already orchestrated. If you don't believe you can make it, and trust me, a lot of us believe that we can't make it, bruh, it is bad. Think about how the hood is set up. The hood is set up like this. There's no businesses with people that look like you, meaning there's no doctors, there's no lawyers, there's none of that stuff. I had a chance for almost 2 years, really was like 1.5, where we got to stay in the suburbs, bro. There were cats I was going to school with where they damn daddies was lawyers, doctors, cops, all of this shit. All we knew in the hood was my dad worked at Walmart. My dad, he works at the warehouse. You know, we were bragging about pittance and pennies, and oh yeah, my dad, he in prison. My dad, blah blah blah. My pops was always locked up. He was always in the state pen or the feds or whatever. So I ain't never had that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to him or anything like that. It is what it is, and I'm not dissing him or nothing. So if you see this, don't get to acting like no buster ass nigga like normal. But but basically, what it is this, bro. You have the ability to become more than what you see. The problem is seeing is believing. There's a reason why the damn highways are right by the hoods, why we all have breathing problems and all of this crap. There's a reason why our schools are terribly funded, and they're trying to tell you don't vote, don't worry about your census and all that stuff, which census directly goes to how many people are there so we know where to put the money at. There's a reason why they try to convince you to not participate in anything political, because once you realize your power is in your ability to elect people to speak for you for what you should have, there you go. I want y'all to really, really take a look at this. Go to an affluent neighborhood where the concrete is nice, where the street is nice, where the police don't bother people. You know why the police don't bother people? Because if they did, them damn police chiefs will get dragged straight back in front of everybody in that town and get told and talked to like a little boy. And you know what they're going to say? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Because those people know all the cops care about is being paid. What's being paid, Nash? Overtime. Overtime. They had to approve budgets, which means, hey, if the cops are doing good, the neighborhood's good, the relationships are good, y'all get approved for all your budgets. Let that shit go down and you're going to see what happened. Remember where Lil Ronnie and his daughter was killed. That cop came out and said, oh, we finna do this and do that. You ain't heard shit about that part of Texas ever since. Know how they operate. Know the power that they have. It's not that they don't give a damn. It's that the people don't give a damn. So why should they? Your schools are terribly funded because of taxes, because of census because of all of these things. But all of a sudden, everybody want to post up, let's boycott this, let's boycott that. No, how about you use your influence and power and put people in actual power? You have been told, don't even run in the race, not knowing that your ass was convinced not to even start. It is what it is. Subscribe, turn on the bell, stay notified, share to keep your people aware. Click right here. See how Wavy Navy Pooh actually met his demise and how the dumbest of the dumbest individuals decided to run their mouth, snitch years ago, and then get snitched on eventually. Click right here, or click right here for the playlist, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.